There were four nations. They were all at war with each other. The Chinese, the Scandinavians, the the the, the English, and the Japanese. For each of these nations had warriors. The Chinese had the Ming, the Scandinavians had the Vikings. The English have the knights, and Japan had samurai. All of them were at war with each other. They were all at war with each other. Until one day, a dark force spread across the land and wiped out their entire civilizations. It was a dark force, a dark creature called the Dragon Queen. She spread her evilness throughout the land, but a great spirit allowed four warriors to live and to set out on an adventure. But before this happened, let's get to know them. Let's get to know them. Lu Xiao, who is a Ming from China, was an archer and a warrior. He came back to find his whole village slaughtered, just taking their lives away. William III was a knight from England, and his entire village was slaughtered. Roshi Kazama, the samurai, found his whole entire village killed, and his wife and son. Bjorn Lodbrok the Viking, came back to see his entire village massacred. A sad time. But every time they came, every one of them who came to their village, a great spirit led them to a specific area. When the great spirit let them all be together, they all started arguing. They were all saying, "You did this, you did this," and they started drawing their weapons. But the great spirit told them not to fight, but to cooperate. As you see, it wasn't them. It was a dark dragon who took out their lands, and they were set to go on an epic adventure to relinquish her evil. And then suddenly, with a divine light, she shone her light and summoned two more warriors. A Mongol named Berkut Khan, and a Hussar named Ferdinand Nowak from Poland. Their homes were destroyed too, and they were brought here to be on this adventure as well. At last, the Great Spirit told them to come together, as they will be rewarded with great riches. And by riches, I mean happiness. The 6 warriors who are now here set out on an adventure. The warriors were walking, and of course, the spirit accompanied them. For the first day, they would get anything they needed. But on the second day, and the days forward, they would have nothing and had to find their own food. Teamwork. They all set up on horseback. The spirit gave them a telepathic connection to know where the queen's palace was. So they set off. As night approaches, the spirit gives them the food. Their food is what they've been eating before the whole massacre. They get to know each other. And they talked about their religion. I am Berkut Khan. I am from Mongolia. My home was I lived on the steppe until a dark forest ravaged my people. That's so sad to hear, says Kazama. They still continue eating and drinking until finally they go to sleep. Next day, they all wake up. Bjorn Lodbrok is stretching. He's the first one to get up. He notices on the horizon that there's a dark forest ahead of them. And so he wakes the others up and tells them to hurry up because there's a dark forest hurrying up. They all get dressed. And Roshi Kazama takes off his mask, the samurai mask, looks at it before putting it back on and going back on horseback. While on horseback, they decide to rest because, horses get tired. As they do, the group decides to split up. Lou and Roshi decide to find some food, while the 4 others are keeping watch. As they are about to start fighting for food, a group of ninjas, or outcasts, I should say, steal their horses and leave. All 6 warriors cuss at them, and they go with their remaining horses. Roshi kills 2 of them and goes on horseback. The others decide to chase him down, and that's when an epic chase ensues. That's all they hear, horse galloping. The outlaws decide to take their horses and leave. All 6 warriors are chasing them on their own horse, trying to retrieve the old horses that are fine. Roshi and Burkut, who are excellent at archery, pull their arrows and shoot some of the outlaws. Yeah, they enter it. They kill some of them. Most of the bandits outsmart them, but some, like Bjorn, is a little bit more mad than others. So he pulls out a hatchet and throws it and absolutely wallops some bandit. At least one horse is taken care of. As more and more bandits start dying, they just leave the horses. But there's one more left. Who's the leader? This has William's horse. As the chase ensues, they easily catch up with him, and they strike him down. They chop off his head and everything. They then kick him down the mountain. Like, come on, they're going up a slope and everything. They then enter a clearing. Well, they're still looking for food, and they're still on this journey to kill a dragon. So they enter a clearing, and then they get surrounded by more bandits. It was a trap. They all unleash their weapons. Burkut unleashes his dual sabers. The hussar, Ferdinand, pulls out a lance and a sword. Lou unleashes his dao and starts waving it around. Bjorn doesn't like to use his shield and instead puts it on his back as protection. He wears it like a backpack, and he uses his sword instead. William uses his long sword, and Roshi uses his katana. Then an epic fight ensues. Swords clank, they charge, stabbing and stabbing. Burka is excellent when it comes to swordplay. William is just like slashing and gashing. Lu is using weaponized martial arts. Roshi is just cutting them down with his katana and stabbing them. The Hussar pulls out a pistol and shoots some of them. Yes, the Hussar has a gun. It's a tiring battle, but in the end, all the bandits are killed. They then travel some more before resting for the night. They will need this energy later. They split up into 3 groups. Burkut Khan goes with William, Bjorn goes with Lu, and Roshi with Ferdinand. Lu with Roshi, Burkut with William, and Bjorn with Ferdinand. Anyways, they split up. Burkut, who's with William, are talking. Their job is to find some fish. Burkut, since he's a Mongolian, whistles. William is confused as he's whistling, so he asks him, "Hey, do you know why you're whistling? It's kind of weird." Burkut then explains to him, "Well, we Mongolians have golden eagles." And just then, he holds out his arm and an eagle lands on it. William is impressed, and he watches as the Mongolian commands the eagle to get a fish, as he exactly does. As he commands the eagle to get more and more fish, they finally get enough and they walk back. But how about Lu and Roshi? Lu and Roshi, their job is to find some plants and spices. Lu is an expert when it comes to plants. He knows which ones not to use. But Roshi, on the other hand, isn't that smart when it comes to plants. Roshi finds a plant. It looks like it has 5 leaves, and it looks like a glove. Lu sees the plant that Roshi's holding and smacks it from his hand. Don't touch that. That's marijuana. Do not touch that. Roshi then falls over a bit. "Aw, come on, you didn't sniff it, did you? Aw, come on." Lu picks him up. Lu picks Roshi up. Roshi has already smelled the plant. So Lu makes the exhausting journey of finding some spices that he can use and walking him back to camp. Meanwhile, Bjorn and the Hussar, Ferdinand, are hunting. Their job is to find some animals. They find a pig, and they fire. Yeah, they killed the wild pig. Bjorn is impressed. He's never seen a weapon like this. What is it called? Oh, this? What is this? Yeah, this weapon. What did you use? It's like a bow and arrow, but more effective. Oh, you see, Bjorn. This weapon is called a flintlock. He's impressed. But anyways, they collect some more food, and at the end, they all bunker down. As they all bunker down, they're all worried. What the hell happened to Roshi? Oh, Roshi? He smelled a drug plant. A drug plant? What kind? Asked Bjorn. Oh, marijuana, Lu exclaims. Roshi is just, like, drugged out of his mind. So, the rest have to, like, eat, and they cook, and they skin, and they season. And when Roshi finally is, like, sober enough, he gets to eat too, and they all have a nice feast. As Lu cures Roshi with some herbs. Yeah, that's how he cured him. And then, for some reason in hell, they talk about religion. Now this actually gets a heated debate as all of them have different beliefs. One can believe in Christianity, the other believes in Bushido, the other believes in the great Khan Genghis, the other one believes in the Buddhism? As they argue and argue, Ferdinand is tired of their bullshit, so he fires his pistol. It silences them all up. But then they all look to the ground and see, oh shit, an eagle? Berkut knows what this is. This is his own eagle. Ferdinand had shot his eagle accidentally while trying to shut them up. Berkut then fucking beats the shit out of Ferdinand. Everyone else is trying to pull Berkut off. But in the end, when they do actually pull him off, Ferdinand's face is all bloody. And he has to heal and rest. After doing this, they hear a howling sound. Now you know, this shit's about to get wild. And they see it. A tall bipedal man. They all draw their weapons. But this is none other than a fucking werewolf. William then yells, "Werewolf!" But then more and more foxes and wolves, bipedal and everywhere. They surround him. All four warriors draw their weapons. Now Berkut has to be the one to guard Ferdinand since he's in a state where he can't fight. So the other four have to fend him off. They start slashing and gashing and dashing. They start slashing through wolves, chop off a fox. There's absolute carnage everywhere. Blood and fur is flying. Everyone is trying to run away. Yes. But then Berkut encounters a fox demon who's getting near. So he uses his dual sabers and absolutely mincemeats the fucking fox demon. Pretty soon, the fox and wolf demons retreat. But then there's a large 10-foot tall wolf by the shoulders. Everyone gets a position. The wolf jumps, and then for some reason, Roshi uses his Naginata and absolutely impales the wolf. The wolf is stopped in its tracks as Roshi and the others look in awe. Roshi uses his katana and then slices out the wolf's head. The wolf is no more, dissolves into ashes. They all clean up before resting for the night, keeping watch. And pretty soon, the fire goes out. The next day, they walk and walk. The area is snowy. The area they're in is snowy as they will continue journeying. Ferdinand, then for some reason, who's better now, slips, and he slides down a slope. All of them come to his rescue. They all slide down. All of them are having fun, but are scared at the same time. You're cruising for a bruising. Come on, guys. We need to save this. We need to save Ferdinand, Bjorn says. All the others slide down after Ferdinand. They all try to get him. And eventually, they do. But then Berkut, who has a little mishap, rams into a tree and is knocked out. But then he wakes up and goes into a town. and the rest go into town. They wake him up, get him up, and they set off, and they find a town. They meet villagers, and they eat. This is weird. They're not dead? I thought it spread. Oh well, they're alive, I guess. William thinks to himself. As Burkut is eating with the villagers because they allow him to, Roshi then says to Burkut, Burkut. And then Burkut is confused. Burkut doesn't know what to say. He then wakes up and realizes it's a dream. They find out that Roshi has been trying to wake him up, and he has. The rest are camping, and they're sitting by the fire. Burkut has been locked down for that long. All that, the village and everything. The village had bright lights and everything. How? Oh well, Burkut thinks to himself. He then goes to sleep. Next day, they travel. They eat. They travel and reach a cave. This is where shit's about to go down. The Dragon Queen appears and roars. Now this shit's about to go down. She summons zombies and skeletons. They then fight. Skeletons, zombies, with swords and shields. They each have their own weapons. As Bjorn is fighting, a zombie strikes him from the back, but it doesn't do anything. His shield is still on his back. He wears the backpack, and that's protection. Bjorn turns around and decapitates the zombie. Lou uses his dao and cuts down some zombies as well. He uses his Kuang spear and to just jab some skeletons and zombies. William uses his halberd and absolutely decimates zombies and skeletons. Roshi uses his bow and kills a lot of zombies before using his naginata to cut them all down. Burkut is using his dual sabers and is an absolute madman, mincemeating in them and turning into ground beef. The Hussar is loading his gun and shooting everyone, his rifle and pistol. And he uses his lance to impale the zombies, making a literal kebab. And eventually, all the zombies and skeletons are dead. The dragon then looks afar. And sends in 10 golden guards. All of them 10 feet tall. They fight. The golden guards have shields and halberds and they swing. But they fight back. They aim for their ankles. Makes them drop. The golden guards get absolutely killed. It's a hard-fought battle. Some of our heroes even get injured. But in the end, it all goes back. They defeat the guards. The Dragon Queen roars. He hasn't seen anything like them. But then she uses her powers to summon something shocking. The heroes look in anticipation, weapons drawn, and they see their future selves with futurized looking weapons. Ah, shit. Roshi thinks to himself. Suddenly, they move at lightning quick speed long, they just have bigger weapons of themselves. They're struggling against them, especially Ferdinand. Ferdinand has guns, but his future dark evil self has futurized guns. He starts mowing them down with a machine gun, but still, he's smarter, and then he eventually kills them. In the end, this fight is a very long battle. The dragon looks from afar. Roshi has to face off against his own self with a giant Nodachi, who eventually kills him. William has to face himself with a giant claymore, but still wins. Bjorn has to face himself, but he's wielding 2 giant axes and swinging them. But still, he beats him in a brawl with his bare fist, breaks his skull. Lu, he used his Dao, but his enemy has 2 Daos and 2 Jians. A 4-armed him version, but he still defeats him with martial arts. Berkut sees what looks like an evil version of Genghis Khan. He has to face his demons and then kills them. Face his own morals. And eventually Ferdinand kills his evil version. And they enter into the castle. They see the dragon. And the dragon looks back and roars. All the others prepare. They shake each other's hand and they fight the dragon. They fight the dragon. The dragon roars. She breathes fire. Volcanic spuge flying everywhere. But then the keen eye of Roshi sees a weak spot in the dragon's chest. He then does some math and finds out that a sword needs to be placed in her heart, in her chest. And the only sword long enough is Lu Xiao's Jian. Lu Xiao then hears the news that Roshi says to him. Lu Xiao doesn't want to die, and he actually never used his Jian that a lot. But now he feels a little remorseful and feels bad that he hasn't used his Jian in a while. But anyways, as the others distract the dragon by chopping her at her legs, Lu Xiao then does some fucking parkour with his Jian, rears up, and stabs into her heart. The dragon falls, but they're in a cave where there's lava, so the plate of rock that they're on flips over and with the dragon, and takes Lu Xiao with him. All the others see it. As Lu Xiao is stuck on the dragon. Whoosh! The lava rocks are flipped. Lu Xiao is no more. The Great Spirit tells them to destroy the egg. They remember what the Great Spirit told them, and they strike the egg. But what comes out? The egg breaks. What comes out is a little wisdom dragon. What? This dark egg held a wisdom dragon, a good dragon. The Great Spirit goes inside the Wisdom Dragon, and the Wisdom Dragon grows up quickly. The Wisdom Dragon uses his powers and brings back Lu Xiao's armor and weapons as a memorial. They honor him. They honor Lu Xiao for his heroic sacrifice. And they bring his armor, and the Great Spirit brings them all home. Back home, they meet around China. The heroes make peace with their nations. They all make peace. As they're in China, they meet Lu Xiao's sister and brother, Su Guan, who's Lu Xiao's older brother, and Ru Shui, who's Lu Xiao's younger sister. Both are warriors. They make a peace treaty, and they go home. The remaining warriors go home. Their population is restored. Bjorn comes back to his village, who is full of prosperous and partying. Burkhard Khan goes back to the steppe and sees with his family, who are there, greeting him. Ferdinand sees that Poland is restored. William sees her sister Joanne of Kiev is there greeting him. And Roshi, he comes back and sees cherry blossom trees everywhere, and sees his wife and kid, Sakura and Tojo. Sakura, who's his wife, and Tojo, who's his son. Roshi comes back and hugs his wife, and then his son. Peace is restored.